The proverb, pride goeth before destruction, is often quoted to remind people about the dangers of being overly proud or arrogant. The phrase originates from the Bible, specifically from Proverbs 16 is to 18, which states, pride goeth before destruction, and a haughty spirit before a fall. In simple terms, it means that when someone becomes too proud, self centered, or arrogant, it often leads to their downfall. Pride in this context is not the healthy self confidence or satisfaction you feel for accomplishing something meaningful. Instead, it refers to an excessive sense of self importance where you begin to look down on others or ignore advice because you think you are better than everyone else. The proverb teaches an important life lesson that being humble and grounded is the key to avoiding mistakes, conflicts, or even failure. It is important to recognize that not all pride is harmful. There is a positive side to pride, which involves being proud of your hard work, talents, or achievements. For example, a student who works hard and performs well in exams can feel proud of their success. Similarly, a person who takes pride in their work will likely put more effort in doing things well. This kind of pride motivates people to strive for excellence. However, the pride referred to in the proverb is negative pride. This is the kind of pride that makes a person feel superior to others. When you are blinded by your ego, you stop valuing other people's opinions or contributions. Negative pride can also make you ignore your own flaws, which can lead to bad decisions and ultimately to failure. Many ancient myths and stories highlight how pride can lead to a person's downfall. For example, in Greek mythology, the story of Icarus teaches this lesson. Icarus was given wings made of wax and feathers so he could fly, but he was warned not to fly too close to the sun. However, Icarus became overconfident and ignored the advice. His pride made him believe he could defy the laws of nature, and he flew too high. The heat from the sun melted his wings, and he fell into the sea and drowned. This story demonstrates that arrogance and ignoring wise advice can have disastrous consequences. History is full of examples of powerful leaders whose pride led to their own downfall. One example is Napoleon Bonaparte, the French emperor. Napoleon was a brilliant military strategist, but his excessive ambition and pride made him believe he could conquer all of Europe. He overreached his capabilities by invading Russia in the winter of 1812. The harsh conditions and strong resistance destroyed his army and marked the beginning of his decline. Similarly, the Titanic disaster is often associated with the pride of its creators. They believed the ship was unsinkable and did not prioritize safety measures, such as providing enough lifeboats for everyone on board. This arrogance and overconfidence contributed to the tragedy. One of the biggest dangers of pride is that it blinds people to reality. When you are overly proud, you stop seeing the flaws of in your decisions or actions. You start believing that you are always right and that nothing can go wrong. For example, a student might ignore studying because they think they are naturally smart only to fail the exam. Arrogant people often ignore warnings or suggestions from others, even if the advice is meant to help them. This stubbornness can lead to serious mistakes. Prideful individuals often look down on others, which can make them underestimate the capabilities of their competitors or enemies. People who are too proud often push others away. When you act superior or refuse to listen, others may stop supporting you, leaving you alone in times of need. The opposite of pride is humility, which is the quality of being modest and respectful. Humility allows you to acknowledge your strengths without looking down on others. It always helps you recognize your weaknesses, which is important for personal growth. A humble person is more likely to accept constructive criticism, value teamwork and collaboration, learn from mistakes and failures, treat others with kindness and respect. For example, great leaders like Mahatma Gandhi are remembered not for their arrogance, but for their humility and service to others. Gandhi's modesty and willingness to listen to people helped him unite millions in the struggle for independence. The lesson of this proverb can be easily seen in daily life. A proud employee who refuses to work with a team or learn from others may lose their job because of their attitude. Meanwhile, a humble worker who collaborates and seeks feedback is more likely to succeed. Arrogance can ruin personal relationships. For instance, if someone always insists they are right and never apologizes, it can create conflicts and distance. Humility, on the other side, strengthens bonds by promoting understanding and forgiveness. Athletes who underestimate their opponents often lose, even if they are talented. Pride can make them overconfident and careless, while humility helps them stay focused and prepared. Pride leads to destruction because it creates a false sense of security. When people become overly proud, they stop striving for improvement. They believe they are already perfect, which prevents them from learning or adapting to new challenges. Moreover, pride can create enemies. A prideful person may offend others with their arrogance, leading to resentment or opposition. Over time, this can isolate them and make their downfall even more likely. Finally, pride leads to poor decision making. When you think you are invincible, you take unnecessary risks or ignore potential dangers. This recklessness can have serious consequences.